Hello friends, welcome to this session of Learning R, and in this session we are going to learn about neural networks. Neural networks are very popular algorithms for machine learning and statistical modeling. And we can understand neural network if we try to understand it as our brain processes. These are the measurements of sepal length of iris flower, sepal width of iris flower, petal length and petal width. These are our senses, and we sense them through our sensory neurons. We process them and we send that signals to the processing neurons, and these processing neurons will again try to understand that signal and transfer that information to the next layer of neurons, where again that information will be processed further, and then that information will be sent to the motor neurons, where actual decision will be transferred to our working organs. In the similar way, these neural networks actually try to process the information which we provide those as input variables. Then these are the input nodes, and from input nodes that processing will be done and will be transferred to the hidden layer, where further processing will be done, and from the hidden layer that will be transferred to another hidden layer, another processing will be done, and the best possible understanding will be converted to classification, and that classification we are seeing here for setosa, versicolor and virginica, how to process these and how to identify those, whether those are setosa, versicolor, virginica, that will be done. And neural networks can be applied to most of the data. Those can be applied for classification, and those can be applied for regression models also. From the discussion which we did during introduction, it appears that neural networks can be difficult, very difficult to implement. Little difficult to understand also, but don't bother much about understanding neural networks, because we are here to use neural networks and not to understand theory behind neural networks. And neural networks required pre-processing. Here in this particular part of our video, I will show you how easy neural networks are to fit. And the first step, that neural networks require pre-processing to make scales of our variables similar to each other. Like here, this is the natural scale of iris variables, that sepal length, sepal width, petal length and petal width, and this scale is 1 to 7. This scale is 0.5 to 2.5, almost less than half of the scale of the first variable. Here also another is 4.5 to 7.5, and the fourth variable has also a different scale. These scales actually may increase the dominance of the variables which are very larger. To avoid that, we scale the variables to make those comparable to each other by maintaining their variations, the variations which are there in those variables. And this is the scaling and centering we have done during pre-processing, and that scale is -1.2 to 1.5. Here again the similar scale, here -2 to 2, and here -2 to 3, and all those variables are centered at 0. This pre-processing makes neural networks, fitting neural networks little easy, and that shall be the first step while fitting neural networks. And we will fit the neural networks. First we will pre-process the iris data using the preprocess function of caret, and for that we will load the caret library. I will run that to load the caret library, and then in this preprocess function I will apply the preprocess function to iris data, and the method will be a vector of parameters, and the first is the centering. We will do the centering of the data. Here centering has been done to 0, and we will scale the data. The default method is z-score normalization, and by scaling we make those scales comparable to each other. I will run this, and the model will be fitted here. This will be a model. I will run that, and you can see the model output that created from 150 samples and 5 variables. Pre-processing has been done. Centered, 4 numeric variables are centered. In iris, 5 variables are there. One is categorical variable that has been ignored here, and the 4 numeric variables have been scaled. Now we will use predict function of the caret package to predict the scaled values and centered values of iris. this is the model, preprocess iris model, which we fitted here in this step, and this is the iris data. The predict function will apply. I will run that, and now we'll get the scaled iris data, and we'll see the summary of iris first. This is the summary of iris, and then we'll see the summary of iris scaled data, that is scaled iris, and we'll run that, and we can see here that the scale has been changed for sepal length, for sepal width also. Here that max is 7.9, here that max is 2.48, because scaling has been done for all those 4 numeric variables, and scaling couldn't be done for the categorical variable. Now when we have the scale data, it's little easy to fit the model, and here we are fitting the model using neuralnet function from the neuralnet package. Therefore I will run this library neuralnet to make the functions available in my RAM, and now I will run this neuralnet function. In neuralnet function, the first argument, just like all other model functions, the first argument is the formula. Here species is our output variable. We'll try to predict species according to different measurements of those 4 numeric variables. All those 4 numeric variables I am considering here. That's why that shortcut is there, dot is there. The species tilde symbol dot. This formula is complete. Then we are providing data as iris. Then hidden layers, 5 hidden layers will be there, and next 5 hidden nodes will be there. 5 nodes will be there in first hidden layer, and 3 nodes will be there in the second hidden layer. And linear output, this is we have made as false. Let it be, don't bother much about that. I will run here. That neural network has been fitted, and now we'll plot that neural network. I'm plotting that, and you can see the neural network here. That sepal length is there, sepal width, petal length, petal width. These input variable nodes are there, and these input nodes are processing and transferring the information to the hidden layer. First hidden layer with 5 nodes, second hidden layer with 3 nodes, and these output nodes are there: Setosa, versicolor, virginica. These 3 species. Iris flowers will be classified in these 3 species according to their measurements in these input variables. Now we will see that to apply to the Raisin data also. Raisin data is the data set of different parameters measured on different classes of raisins. 3 classes of raisins were there. We will see summary of Raisin data, and this data set I will make available as XLS file, and I will provide link in my in the description of this video. We'll run that. This area, major axis length, minor axis length, eccentricity, convex area, extent perimeter, all these numeric variables are there, and then classes are there. Classes have length 90, then class character, mode character. We'll see how many different classes are there. Unique function will use for that, and there Raisin data set we are going to use, and dollar that class, and we'll see. Here you can see that 2 classes are there. The first class is Casemen and the second class is Besni. We have to classify our raisins into these 2 classes, and for that I will pre-process the data, Raisin data, as we discussed earlier. Pre-process function we are going to use. Raisin is the data set. Method used will be as vector, center, and scale. We'll run that, and then we'll predict that using the predict function. Run that, and predicted is there. Scaled Raisin, we can see how those are scaled. Then NN model we are going to fit. Again we are going to fit the model to class, neural net function. Class is the output variable, tilde symbol for the formula interface, and this dot to signify that all other variables we are using as input variables. Then data will be Raisin. Hidden layer, again 5 hidden. First hidden layer will contain 5 nodes, and second hidden layer will contain 3 nodes. Linear output false, again the same, and we'll run that, and we'll see the plot of that neural network. And here that plot is there. These many input variables are there. The 5 hidden nodes, 3 hidden nodes, and 2 classes. Those are classified by the trained model. And this is how it's easy to fit the neural network. And in the next part of this video, we'll first see what all other steps are required in model fitting, proper model fitting, where we take care of all other things and will fit a model properly using the different caret functions. In this part of the video, we will fit the neural network model with taking care for all aspects of model fitting. We'll fit the model more systematically, and here this first step is we are loading the Raisin dataset. I have the Raisin dataset as xlsx file, and I have downloaded that dataset online. I will provide the source of that data also, and will provide the downloadable dataset also. Then we'll check whether the data has any missing values or not, and if missing values are there, then we will impute those missing values using mice package functions or Amelia package functions or misforest package functions. Then we'll preprocess the data. That preprocessing of data, as we have seen in earlier part of this video, that we will scale that using the preprocess function, and we'll center and scale that data to avoid the larger variable getting dominant. Then we'll split the train and test data using createDataPartition function of caret package. This is important step to split data into train and test, because when we train the model on data and we test that model on the same data, we'll not understand if overfitting is there or not. For that purpose, we'll test the model using the data which is not used for training purpose, or unseen data will be used for testing the model, and that unseen data will from the original data set only. Then after splitting the data, we'll define the train controls. These train controls we define for cross validations, and in cross validation we'll break the data into n number of different subsets, and here we'll do that using 10 subsets, and out of that 10 subsamples, one sample will be kept as train data, and 10 subsets data will be fitted, and on one the data will be tested. And then after cross validation, defining cross validation functions, we'll go for the tune hyperparameters. Here hyperparameters are the those number of hidden nodes, number of hidden layers, size of hidden layers. Then weight decay parameter is also one hyperparameter. That weight decay parameter determine that how to adjust the information coming from the sensory input variables. Then when we have defined all these things, then we'll train the neural network using that train control and hyperparameter tunings. And after training, we'll validate and evaluate this trained neural network. We'll try to understand more about that using plot functions, and then we'll plot the model. We'll use that for predictions also, and after that we can visualize the neural network using that neural net functions to see input variables, hidden variables, and output. As we have seen these earlier, we will not go towards this in this session, because caret train function doesn't have a direct visualization method, and for that we have to extract those required data manually and then plot that neural network. We'll not do that for this, and now we'll move to RStudio to do all these steps. Now we are there in our RStudio, and all these packages are required. We might have installed those and called those in earlier sessions, but if you see the error that package has not been installed while running this code, then you can install those packages through tools menu, install packages, and when the dialog box appear, type in there the package name, and here that package name is caret, and here you can see the caret. Select from the drop down list and click install. Package will get installed, and you can do that if these packages are not installed on your system. That library vim is required for visualizing the missingness in the data. Then library mice is required for imputation. We may not use this if our data is clean data without any missingness. Then library dplyr for manipulating the data, we may not use in this session, but we'll still run that. Then library randomForest as alternative model but I may not go for random forest. I planned to compare random forest and neural networks in their classification performance, but we'll do that. I will run that library random forest also, library neural net for neural net functions, and then a library readxl for reading the data from the xlsx file. And all these libraries have been called in our session, and therefore all these functions are available to us. Then using set working directory, I will show you just by coding that set working directory here. And to get that working directory, I will go to Explorer, and in Explorer I will try to find out where my neural network is there, and I will see in my RStudio that Rworks neural network is there. Rworks and neural network, this is the directory where I am working. I will click here and will copy the path of that directory, will bring that to my R session, and will paste that into inverted quote, and will make this single backslashes to double slashes, and then when I run that changed working directory will be here. I will remove the duplicate line, and then using the list files function, I will list all the files which are there, and this is my dataset file. I will provide you this dataset file in my in the description of this video. You can download that and use keep that in your working directory and use that here as I used. And then using xlsx function, this is the file name which I copy pasted from this, like this, copy, then paste that here and run that line to import that data. Now structure Raisin, will see this structure Raisin, it has 900 observations and 8 variables are there. All those except the class are numeric variables, and their range is quite different. Area is 871. We'll see the summary to know their range, and you can see here the 25,000 to 2,35,000 is the range for this area. Then measure axis 225 to 997, much smaller than the area, and everywhere you can see the large discrepancy in the ranges, and these larger variables may dominate the model and you may not get proper model performance. And for that purpose we require preprocessing, and for preprocessing we are using the preprocess function of caret, as we discussed in earlier session. I will run that preprocess parameters, and I will use this preprocess model to predict from the Raisin dataset for the scaled data. I will run that, and now my data has been scaled. And when my data has been scaled, I am ready to go further in the next stage to train but before that I said that we need to see the missingness in the data, and for that I will type here missingness check, and there I will use this aggr function of vim package to see any missingness, if any missingness is there in Raisin data. Raisin scaled, now we will check, and in Raisin scaled a plot will appear here. The plot is getting plotted. Little time is being taken because of my system's performance. My GPU is not working, therefore I have bypassed the GPU for this moment, and that aggr will run that again. I think aggr Raisin scaled. Why it's not working I don't know, but plot should have been there, or we'll plot for the Raisin data. Yeah, on the scaled object this is not working, therefore it will work on the original data set, and we can see here that no missingness is there, no red missing data is there, therefore will not go for the data imputation. But remember, I forgot that to do before scaling. I'll keep that before scaling so that you can add your data name here and use that data to fit your model. Then we'll go for the splitting, and we are setting the seed for random number generation for that random processes to be reproducible. I will run that set.seed. Then trainIndex, here using createDataPartition, I will split the data or sample the data into training and testing data. As this data has two categories, I will use that categorical variable or output variable for proper stratified sampling. And then probability will be 0.8. In that means I will select here 80% of the rows, and list is equal to false. My output will not be list. My output will be a matrix here. I will run that that createDataPartition function and will save the output into trainIndex. I will run that, and you can see the trainIndex now. 80% of the rows will be there. We'll see the length of a trainIndex. Run that, and that length is 720, means 80% of 900. And now I will just remove that and train data, that Raisin scaled in there's those square bracket, the trainIndex, because these rows will be selected only and all other columns will be selected. I will run that, and now we'll see the train data. This is the train data. All those scaled variables are there, and 720 rows are there in the train data. In test data, I will exclude those. This is the scale data set, and in index I will put that minus train index. This negative symbol will avoid this train index in the test data, and this test data will contain remaining 20% of the data, and that length of test data will see, and that will be around 180, as 180 is 20% of the 900. We'll run that. That length test data is 8. It shall not be no, not length. I have to go for the n row, because now it's a data frame, and those n rows are 120. 180 rows are there. 180 is 20% of this. Now we'll define the train controls. In train controls, we are going to use the method CV, and this CV method, cross validation method, is the method where we break the data into different subsamples. Here number 10 is to say that we have converted that, we have broken split that data or Raisin scale data into 10 different subsamples, and from those 10 different subsamples we'll use one sample at a time and we'll fit the model to that, and using the remaining 9 subsamples will be used, and data models will be fitted. 9 different models will be fitted, and using remaining one test data those 9 models will be validated, and likewise that will be done for the all 10 subsets. And when we run that, this will be there in the memory. That train control parameters will be there, that validation parameters will be there. And then we'll go for the hyperparameter tuning. That tune grid function, tune grid object will create, and for that expand grid function I am going to use. That expand grid function will create the different combinations for these values, for all the sizes and for the all decay values. Dot size is for those number of hidden layers. These 3 different hidden layers we are going to hidden nodes we are going to use in those layers. In first model 5 will be there, in next one 7 will be there, in next one 10 nodes will be there in that hidden layer. And these different decay values, weight decay values we are going to use. These weight decay values are used to avoid overfitting, and 0.1 weight decay, 0.05 weight decay, and 0.01 weight decay we are going to use. I will run that, and you can see the tune grid, how that tune grid is created. This expand grid function, remember that that's very useful function. For 5, 7 and 10, decay is 0.10. All the combinations of these different values will be made. Again for 5, 7, 1, 0.05 weight decay is there. Again 5, 7, 10, 0.01 train decay is there. This tune grid, we are going to use this in NN model. I'll again set the seed 1, 2, 3. No need, because we have said earlier also, but I will run that again. And this in this NN model I am going to save my train model. that train function I am going to use, that this is the formula interface as we discussed earlier for neural net. Class tilde symbol, class is the output, and tilde symbol, then dot, all other variables are used as the input variables. Data is train data, method will be nnnet because we are going to fit neural network model here. Train control as we defined here, that train control. Tune grid as we defined here, that tune grid. And linear output false as we did that for that neural net function also, and trace is equal to false. We'll run that neural network. It will take some time because as I said earlier, my GPU is not working and I have bypassed that GPU. Therefore, model fitting will be little slow here, but not. That caret function has made it little faster and model has got fitted. I will plot, will not get neural net here, but we'll get those different decay values and hidden layers. These hidden layers are there. We have used 5, 7 and 10 hidden layers, and for that model accuracy is quite less for when 5 hidden layers are used. When 7 hidden layers are used, the model accuracy increases for this 0.05 decay. But for all that 0.01 decay value and 0.1 decay value, the model accuracy is quite less. Model accuracy still increases when we go for the 10 nodes in the hidden layer, and these 10 model accuracies are there, and we can see that maximum model accuracy is there for 0.05. Therefore, this weight decay will be used in the final model, and these hidden nodes or size will be used in the final model. We'll see the summary of the final model, and you can see summary of all those, that weights of all those will be shown here. Yeah, don't bother much about that. We'll go for the prediction now, and then we'll create the confusion matrix. NN prediction, our model has got fitted, our model has got validated, and we know that its accuracy is 87%, means 87% it is predicting quite correctly. And we'll validate that using the test data, and for that we are going to use the predict function. In the predict function, the first we have provided the model as all other predictions. The model first, then new data will be provided. New data is the test data, and we'll run that, and that NN predictions are there. Using NN predictions, now we'll create the confusion matrix. For that, we'll run that NN prediction and test data class, will run that, and it is saying that should be factors with the same levels. I will load there here factor, and run that. We may have to pre-process it little to get proper confusion matrix. To resolve these errors, we'll see the predictions first, and here not RF predictions, NN predictions here. I'll run that NN predictions, and we can see that it's a factor with 2 levels, Bayesian and K-Siemens. And we'll see this also, test data class. And oh no, this is not factor, this is a character variable. We'll make that as a factor to make it similar to our predicted values. And this factor I have created from this using the factor function. I will run that, and we can see again that both are now the same one. This predictions and the test data actual class. And now we can have this confusion matrix using confusion matrix function of caret package. The predictions, predicted values, and the next argument will be the actual values, and we'll see whether the model has got confused between these values or not. And now we'll have to print this confusion matrix object which we have created. I will run that, and you can see here that Bayesian and K-Siemens, these are the predictions, these are the actual values here, and predictions are Bayesian and K-Siemens. You can see that 79 times Bayesian is getting identified correctly, and 10 times that is getting identified or getting confused as K-Siemens. And here for K-Siemens also, 11 times K-Siemens are getting confused for Bayesian, and 80 times those are getting identified correctly. A good degree of accuracy is there, that is 0.8833, that 0.88% or almost 90% accuracy is there in predictions, and a good accuracy that is. No information rate is 0.5. Then p value is less than 0.05, or it is almost 0, 2 into 10 raised to minus 16. This kappa is again the test statistics for how great accuracy it has. McNemar's test p-value is 1, that confusion is not there, almost good identification is there, classification is there, it is saying sensitivity 87%, specificity 88.89%, and all these values are there. Okay, that's how we feed the neural network model. And now just to compare neural network model, I will feed the random forest model using the again train function and same train control method. I will run that forest model. Forest model is getting fitted, and it may take little more time, as again my GPU is not working with that speed. Model got fitted. Now predictions I will do, and we'll go for the confusion matrix again, and the same thing it is saying. Therefore we'll make it factor again, our test data to factor again. We'll run that and we'll see what is the accuracy of this using this confusion matrix, and we'll print that confusion matrix. You can see that its accuracy 0.8778, specificity is 0.90, and 77 times it is identifying Besney correctly, and 81 times it is identifying K-Semen correctly, and this accuracy is little less as compared to the neural network model. Therefore neural network model is the good model as compared to random forest model, and these results will print results for accuracy and all that. And for a random forest model, these results are there, and for those different parameters we used, hyperparameters we used, those comparisons are there. In my next video we'll see how to interpret these comparisons. We'll stop here in this video. This video has become quite lengthy, but if you have liked this video, please click the like button. Please share this video with your contacts, and subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed yet. Press the notification icon also to get notifications of my new videos. Thanks for watching this video.